Hey everybody, it's Kevin Purcell for notebooks.com and gottabemobile.com, and here we've got the Samsung Chromebook 2. Now, this is an update to what was really one of the most popular Chromebooks in recent years, the original Samsung Chromebook, which was actually a second generation Chromebook. But this one is a larger one. Samsung makes two sizes. There's this one, the 13.3 inch, and then also an 11 inch. This one has the Samsung Exynos 5 octa-core processor, which means it's somewhat speedy, but it's not as fast as the Intel Haswell-based Chromebooks like the HP Chromebook 14 and a few others. But it is a really nice Chromebook, and one of the greatest benefits of it is you'll notice the screen. This is a full 1080p screen. It's got a really beautiful resolution. Like most Chromebooks, it's a little bit washed out. It's not as bright as most, but it does have a nice look to it, and so that's probably one of my favorite features about it. Because of that larger resolution, it does slow things down just a tiny bit, and also the battery life isn't as good as it might be otherwise. We get about 6 to 7 hours depending on our kind of usage. Now, the second thing that this Chromebook really has going for it is this nice large keyboard. It's an island style keyboard. It's very comfortable to type on. It feels good. It does have a little bit of press here in the middle, which can get annoying, but for the most part it's a very good keyboard. I spend a long time typing on it, writing. That's one of the things I do most of the time is writing, and so I really enjoy that. And to go with it, it's got a decent trackpad. Some of these Chromebooks have small trackpads and they don't work as well. This is nice and responsive, and so I enjoy using it. I don't feel like I have to hook up a Bluetooth mouse most of the time. We want to go ahead and show you around it here. This has a Kensington lock for security's sake. I never use that. And then it's got one USB port on this side, your headphone and jack. Notice how nice and thin it is. It has a very sleek design. Of course, on the back here, we have just the hinge. It's a nice sturdy hinge. When you open it, you will have to hold down the computer in order to open it. I sort of would like laptops to be able to do that easily. You notice it's not too stiff, but it's stiff enough, and I think it'll hold up well. But then over here on this side, we also get, this is the power port. It's got a very small, thin pin input on that. And here we've got another USB port and HDMI. And then here's one of the weaknesses of the Chromebook. Unfortunately, can you see that? I hope that's nice and sharp in there. It has a micro SD card slot. I wish it had a full SD card slot. I like to take pictures, and my camera uses a regular SD card. I would much rather have an SD card slot than a micro SD card slot. Probably one of the other weaknesses of this is it does come with 4 gigabytes of RAM and a 16 gigabyte SSD, which makes it very fast to boot up. But because of the processor, if you open, say, more than, I don't know, half a dozen browser tabs or apps at a time, it's going to slow things down a bit. I wish that they'd put an Intel-based processor in it, but Samsung's going to use their own product, so I really don't blame them for it. All in all, this is a really nice Chromebook. I would say this is probably one of the best 13-inch or larger Chromebooks. I still like the HP 14, not the current generation, the previous generation that uses the Intel Haswell-based processor. I like this. I think the new Toshiba Chromebook 2 is also one of the best. So it's probably in that range of the Samsung I would put after the HP, and then the Toshiba after this one. But all three of those Chromebooks are really going to be positive experiences for most people. If you don't know what a Chromebook is, understand that it's a operating system that uses a very simple interface that's based on the Chrome browser running on top of a very lean and mean Unix-based or Linux-based operating system. And what that means is basically most of your work is going to be done on the internet, so you're going to need an internet connection. This has 802.11 AC, which means you get nice fast Wi-Fi. There's no built-in wired networking, but I don't feel like that's a problem. I haven't used the webcam very much, but it does come with a webcam on here, good enough to do basic chat. You can't do Skype on a Chromebook yet. Microsoft is working on that, but it works well for Hangouts. The 1 or 2 times I have used it, I've used Google Hangouts, and it works just fine. I would call this a buy. Now, it is a little expensive, and that's my last complaint. It's $399 is the retail price. We've seen it on Amazon for like $378, somewhere around there. And we've also found a refurbished model on Newegg's eBay site for about $328. But most of the time, if you want one brand new, not a refurb, it's going to cost you at least $378 and upwards of $400 in order to get this one. They do have a version, I think, I'm not 100% positive of this, I think they have a version that's only got 2 gigs of RAM and doesn't have the HD drive. But I would call this a buy. I'm pleased with it, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. It looks great. Some people don't like this sort of faux leather stitching. It's definitely plastic on the back here. All Chromebooks are plastic, but it feels sturdy. It's got a nice hinge to it. I've used it for a few months now, and I actually really like this Chromebook. This has been Kevin Purcell for Notebooks.com with the Samsung Chromebook 2. Thanks for watching.